All right, guys, we are getting oh so close to riding this vintage 1965 Cushman Trailster that we have been restoring. I did a few things last night off camera, installed the headlight, installed the fuel tank straps. We've got our air cleaner cover on. We even got our shift lever so we can shift between high and low range. What we want to do today is get the rear axle, the brake, and the rear wheel mounted on the bike. So here we've got our rear hub, combination sprocket, combination brake drum, and I've pounded out the rear wheel bearings, and they look pretty nasty. I was originally thinking I would replace these, and they look pretty bad, but I actually think we can clean these up, re-grease them, and reuse them. So we're gonna do that. Also got all the brake parts put together. We're gonna need some new brake shoes. This one in particular is pretty badly damaged, not usable. So we're gonna get those today, as well as some new springs. Here is our brake drum backing plate. We're gonna clean up this hardware and assemble that all together. Put that into our rear wheel. We'll clean up the rear axle and all that hardware and get that mounted. So by the end of this video, we'll have a rolling chassis with a running engine and transmission, and we'll just need to put the chains on in order to get it riding. All right, I've been working on this rear axle, and I've pounded the bearings out. I've cleaned up the inner bearing surfaces. You can see how nice and clean that is. But I'm gonna show you kind of a before and after these bearings. So here's the bearing as it came out. It's a tapered roller bearing. And yeah, that looks pretty nasty. And you can see when I try to spin it, maybe you can hear it. Well, it's a lot of frictions. I can't even spin it. It's just locked up. Ooh, it's just locked up. There's so much dirt and grime and grit in there. It's locked up. Well, I took the other one, there's two of them, and I just doused it with Carb Clean. And yeah, now it's like spinning real nice. This is with no lube in it, so obviously I'm gonna grease that. And I've cleaned up the spacer that goes underneath it. And then I have new bearing cups with new seals on them. So that just drops in there like that. So here you can see sort of the after, and then the before looks like that. So these have actually cleaned up really nice. I gotta do this one now. I'll clean up the bearing, clean up this. I got a new bearing cup, and then we'll grease it all up and drive them back in to their home. It's getting better. I've just lubed up one bearing and driven in the seal. That's what the finished product looks like. I'm gonna flip this axle over and show you how I did that on the other side. All right, my bench is obviously a total mess. That's pretty normal. That's the chaos that just ensues when you're doing a project like this. First thing we're gonna do is lube up this bearing. So I'm gonna stick it into grease here, and we are going to just keep packing grease in the backside until it oozes out the front side. We'll just keep on packing that grease in until it starts oozing out the other side. Okay, we've got our second wheel bearing installed and greased, our rear axle cleaned up. We've even got new brake shoes and springs installed on our backing plate. Thanks to a friend at work for helping me out with that. issue I have is I don't have all of this hardware. Some of it I had to destroy, some of it I have and I was able to clean up. Others I just need new stuff. So I'm not gonna be able to get the axle completely tightened up onto the bike, but we're gonna try to get it all on there. The wheel, the brake, the axle, the hub, everything. And then over the next couple of days, I'll get the hardware I need. Our little Cushman is now a roller. Still need to get the precise hardware I need to mount this rear wheel, but it's on there. We've got the wheel and the rear hub and the axle all reconditioned in there, as well as the rear brake. And you can see the brake actually works to stop the wheel. You do that again. So I gotta connect the brake rod to the front brake pedals, connect the throttle to the carburetor, and put the final drive chain as well as the primary drive chain on, and we will have ourselves a running and riding Cushman Trailster.